Court strikes out case seeking Tinubu's disqualification. Wow. So the case that was filed against Tinubu to disqualify him because of all the baggages he had in his head, court has struck out those cases now. All right, meaning that Tinubu is still eligible to continue to contest for the presidency for the 2023 election. Wow, this must be APC court. So a federal high court in Abuja has struck out a case filed by the Action People's Party, APP, seeking to nullify the candidature of Bola Tinubu as 2023 presidential candidate of All Progressives Congress, APC. Bayo Onanuga, Director of Media and Publicity, APC Presidential Campaign Council, said this in a statement on Wednesday in Abuja. He said that the suit FHC/UM/CS/124/2022 was filed by the APP and others against the Independent National Electoral Commission as the first defendant. It had Bola Tinubu as second defendant and APC as third defendant. The plaintiffs had prayed the court to ask INEC, the first defendant, to invalidate the nomination of Tinubu, the second defendant, who is the presidential candidate of the third defendant, which is the APC. The plaintiffs conversed that the second defendant had allegedly submitted to the first defendant false information in his form, EC9. And when he failed to include his primary and secondary education as contained in his form CF001 of 1999, submitted for gubernatorial election pursuant to Section 29 of the Electoral Act 2022 and 131 of the 1999 Constitution, Onanuga said. He added that counsel to the third defendant, Babatunde Ogala, however, filed a notice of preliminary objection on the grounds that the suit was statute barred, disclosed no cause of action, and that the plaintiff had no locus. All right? Onanuga said Ogala argued that it was frivolous and a waste of the time of the judiciary. When the matter came up for determination before Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court, Abuja, on Monday, November 21, the plaintiff did not make any appearance in court. Wow. Justice Nwite subsequently struck out the case for lack of diligent prosecution, the APC-PCC Director of Media and Publicity said. Wow. So the case that was filed by APP against the APC, against Bola Tinubu and against INEC to disqualify Tinubu because he did not put his primary and secondary certificate, all right, it was argued that it lacks merit. It lacks merit, okay? And then the next thing, when they were to hold that case on November 21, 2022, the people that filed the case from APP party did not appear in court. So what does that mean? It means that they don't have enough facts to substantiate the case they have. That is the way I see it. If you really have a genuine case against Tinubu, or you have a genuine reason to file a case in court, you should be prepared to attend the court sitting. So why did you file a case and then it was the day to go and judge that matter, you did not appear? And for Monday, for some days, you have not come out to clarify why you did not appear in court. It means that they are no longer ready to follow up the case. Generally, we are aware that Tinubu has a lot of baggage on him. One is that his primary and secondary certificate has not been seen. INEC has not been able to provide them. We don't know. And then we also know of a lot of other things on his neck, though, which are not part of this case that is filed against him. This case is basically on his primary and secondary certificate. All right. Other things around his source of his wealth, the The money laundering and drug case in US, all those are still on one side, pending. And then the issue around his health, all of those baggages are still waiting. The source of his income, all those are still waiting. All right. And concerning this certificate thing was part of it. But this suit is basically on the issue of primary and secondary certificate. All right. But the fact here is that APP, I don't understand why they did this, because you don't start what you are not ready to finish. You don't start what you're not ready to fight through. Only God knows why they did not attend that court case. Whether they have been threatened, or probably they don't have money to follow up the case, or they don't have a lawyer, the right lawyer, or the lawyer they have, they don't trust it, or they don't trust him. There are several reasons why they must have failed, or it was a logistic reason, and why have they not come out to counter it, that they reintroduced the case again in the court, that they were ready to fight it, but for some reason they could not attend for that day. And if for any reason they were not going to appear in the court, did they notify the judge that is handling that case that they were not going to be there? Justice Mite, that is handling the case in his court there, in the Federal High Court at Abuja. Did you write the justice to tell him that you are not going to be there for some reasons and that the case should be postponed? You did not. So everything put together is pointing probably to the fact that they were not ready to pursue the case anymore. And so they had to let it die a natural death. And that was how the case was struck out. Right? Sometimes too, it could be that they have been bought over, because in this era of campaign and desperation to get to the top, you never can tell what happens at the bottom and at the background, right? So only God knows why these people, after filing the case, did not appear in the court. This is actually not a very good one for them. It means that they are not ready to fight the case. It means that they're not prepared. They don't have enough evidence. They don't have enough facts. And they did not want to tell the court to move forward or to postpone the case so they can put their documents together. All of that would have been done. So don't start what you cannot finish. That is my word for APP. Don't start what you cannot finish. And don't put a case against somebody that is stronger than you when you know you will not be able to fight it. You find other ways to resolve your issues. So APP is the reason that this case was struck out in court. They did not come, and then the Justice Mite did not have any option but to strike out the case, because the plaintiff who filed the case in the first place wasn't there. Meanwhile, the first defendant, who was INEC, second defendant was Tinubu, third defendant was APC as a party. All of them were there with their lawyers. All right? And at the end of the day, the plaintiff who filed the case, which is APP, failed to show up. That means that they are not ready. They are not ready. They are not ready. So thank you for listening. For those who don't know why the case was struck out, this is the reason, this was the reason the case was struck out. Except a fresh case is going to be instituted and filed again in the court. This particular one is dead and dead final. Dead and dead. It's not going to come up again. So APP should go and put their house together and make sure they shouldn't start a fight that they cannot finish. So thank you for listening, and let's have your comment and your views as well below for sharing.